And hello, everyone. I am Crystal B with Samecast Different Name Podcast. We'd like to welcome you this evening to our special this evening of Pride. I can't talk tonight again. The Pride Podcast. We have our guests. Well, we like to take our special guests too. First of all, our two guests, Allie and Jackie, are mental health experts. So, Allie and Jackie, thank you so much for showing up. And my new bestie, apparently, I guess, Jamie. Thank you very much, Jamie, for showing up this evening too. By the way,
You're welcome.
by the way, ladies, it's all ladies' night again. We let have Martell's got the night off tonight. We let Tina and Esme also have the night off. So I'm taking over the show this evening. Let's talk about what pride means to you, how you can be a good ally, or learn about how to accept that person. And if you're not sure, if you have any like young children or teenagers and they're kind of not sure where they want to go in life, or maybe they're unsure if they're going to transition or they would be non-binary, or maybe they have, depend on their pronouns. So we're going to talk a lot about this evening. First of all, let's introduce and let's make sure we say hi to Allie. Good evening, Allie. Thank you for stopping in this evening, by the way.
Thank you
Jackie,
for having me again.
You are welcome. Jackie, hello. Thank you for coming in this evening.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. I missed your face.
I miss you too. I miss seeing you. I miss seeing my sisters. And we have Miss Jamie. Miss Jamie, welcome in this evening.
Thank you.
So let's talk about pride first of all. What does pride mean to each one of you? What does it mean? I mean, we hear it say, suck it up, buttercup, or you'll be proud someday who you are. You know what? It doesn't really mean that. We'll start with Allie and work our way around. Allie, what does pride mean to you? It's not just rainbows and unicorns. And granted, I got a unicorn right here. We're rocking the unicorn. So that's not really what it's all about.
Right. For me, pride is just about living authentically and unapologetically. And it's not necessarily blocking out the hate, because there's always going to be hate, but it's focusing on the good and managing how to deal with the bad, and having a support system that is unlike any other.
I agree with that. Jackie, you're up next. Tell me about pride and what it means to you.
Pride to me has always just meant being able to feel proud of who you are as a person without judgment from others. And meaning that as people, we all deserve a certain level of basic human decency, regardless of, what we'd like to do in life, or, any of that. And I think that a lot of times we forget about that when people do things that maybe we aren't used to for ourselves.
Those are some hard facts there. That's true. All right, Miss Jamie.
Yeah, for me, it's more about visibility to the community, to people that may not have regular interactions with anybody that's part of, the LGBTQ community. I think it's an opportunity to right some misconceptions about various groups within the group, if you will.
Nope.
And certainly, able to show that I'm proud to be who I am.
Don't ever, it's your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, everything like that. That steps into place with that, and it's hard. I went through a lot in my life. I gotta tell you what, even as a host and being on, a podcast and being live and this and that. It takes a lot, because you have to stand up to people. There's people that have tried to, bully me or push me around or tell me what's good and bad in my life. By all means, I got to tell you what, I have some great friends. We have the official mental health experts of the podcast here with us. So by all means, I mean, you couldn't be enlightened anymore with us, by all means. I think that is a great thing. I mean, if we didn't have them, to be honest with you, I don't know what our podcast actually has mental health experts actually on their podcast. I don't know many. I really don't. To be honest with you, I don't know many. I'm going to say probably we're the only ones. I'm going to say that right now, just
You
to have
guys are so great.
Oh,
Just
that's,
speak it into existence.
we try to have fun. We try to be visible. We try to be honest. That's the biggest thing, find out who you really are. Where do you want to go in life? Where are your, goods and bads? Now, the biggest question is, and it's been brought to me numerous times, it's been brought to me over the last 5-6 years of my life, is where do kids go to get help? Now, not everyone knows where to, some parents, the biggest thing, I start out with the parents, okay? The parent has to be educated and be able to help that child or children, depending on, I don't know, you could have, 3-4 kids and they all could say well, one could be gay, one could be lesbian, one's like, oh, I'm non-binary, okay. It's just, okay. But now it's trying to figure out where do I go from here? As a parent, do you shun them? Which some parents have done, they do that, I've talked with some 20-some-year-olds that have kind of had some real rough, turnarounds and rough ends of it. But, what are things as a parent? Allie, we'll start with you. What are things as a parent you could do? Now you have 2 younger ones. You could do moving forward. Say they get into maybe 10, 12, 15 years old and they say, hey, mom, I'm not going to be me. I'm going to be somebody else.
Right.
What are things you could do as a parent, Allie?
And honestly, there are things that I do with my kids even now where it's, either just getting books that, explains about accepting people for who they are and not being judgmental. And, I try and sort of talk to them early about, not placing judgment on others. So that way they will feel safe to, hopefully if that point comes where, they do feel like they need to come out, like I will be able to be there and they will be able to feel safe. I try and lay that groundwork early so that way they feel like they can be whoever they want to be without feeling like they are going to be judged or like I won't love them anymore, because that will never be the case, and I think that it's starting that support system early, and then if that time comes, gathering resources such as a support system to talk to, a peer support group, whatever it is, just to make sure that they know that they are not alone. I think that that's the biggest thing is to let them know that they are not alone in this.
Jackie, what are your I mean, you have 3+ kids, 3, 4. I don't keep count anymore. I mean,
There's so many now.
lot. So I'm a really big fan of sending your kids to therapy. All of my kids are in therapy, and it's because kids don't always tell their parents everything. As much as you want to have the best relationship with your kids, there's some stuff that they just don't tell you. Not only that, but I can admit that I don't have all the answers. I don't have the answer for everything. I can give you what's my best judgment, and what I think is right, but someone else might have, something better for you to try that might work for you. So I'm a really big fan of sending your kids to therapy. Even if you don't think your kids need therapy, your kids need therapy. Um, just like bottom line. And then a lot of times when those questions and stuff come up, they already have a beginning to that support system, Allie was talking about. Um, and it kind of just it makes a lot of things come full circle easier. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of kids going to therapy on a regular basis.
I mean, it's a smart thing. I mean, it does help because, I mean, you're right. Not every kid's going to want to tell mom and dad or aunt and uncle or anybody. They may tell their friends because their friends are comfortable, but you see mom and dad every day and you may be like, looks like they're having a bad day, or I don't want to talk about this thing, so, that's a big thing is yeah, having those. I mean, but it's always a good thing, really. Yes, Martell, yeah, support. That's a big thing. Yes, it is. It's a very big thing. And I'm glad that you're free. You're free. I'm glad you're free. I'm glad you are free.
Mom's not looking yet.
I'm glad you're free. That's good. I'm glad you're free this evening. Good for you, Martell. Good for you. As I've been kind of missing Logan. I haven't seen her comments. I haven't really said much. All right. So as soon as Jamie will be with us momentarily here, she's getting her youngster together here. So I mean, I'll just talk about myself. So I mean, therapy is.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
You ready to go, Jamie? Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I was just going to say education is the biggest key. A lot of, I'm speaking from my own experience. My parents had no idea what any of the terms were, what it meant, or really didn't even understand it. And, they grew up in an era when, people weren't quite as tolerant. But the number two thing I think is just making sure that your kids know that regardless of who they decide to be, they will always be loved. They will always be accepted. And I think in an environment like that, they will feel a lot more comfortable being able to come to you and with their problems and with their issues to work through them, so they don't spend years and years and years, hating themselves, and just, causing more mental issues for them. So.
Yeah, it's education, big thing. Education and spreading the word, getting that support, helping people. I mean, it took a bit. Even myself. I mean, my parents. My dad was in the military. And hello, Tommy. Welcome into watching the show. And it took. My dad was in the military, so for him it wasn't a big deal for him and all. It was kind of like no big deal, He's in the military. You deal with people all the time. And you just learn to, work. You work with those people. Doesn't mean you got to deal with them all day long. You just work with them, go home, and then forget about them, and then come back and do it again. But their lives have nothing to affect your life. So there's no they're not forcing anything on you. They're not doing anything. They're just telling you where they're at in life. So you just have to understand that you may be that person to be educated instead of saying negative, spontaneous, things that may not be professional or may not be even appropriate for a workplace. So, to me, or in general public, by all means. I would say in my, instances, my mom, it did take a little bit, but everybody's different. So it just depends. I mean, it's your focus, where you're going and what you want to, where you want to go in life, by all means. I mean, you do have to understand that and it doesn't mean it's where you are in life. Everyone transitions from one to another. You go from being a baby to a toddler. There's the infant in there I might have missed. You get it to be in a grade school. You go through the whole, elementary, middle, high school. You're constant transition in life. You get to be, I don't know, like my dad. He's 77 years old. I mean, that's the way life goes. You go from being young, having a good time, and next thing you know, you're retired, old, and I don't know, trying to keep rid of the gray hairs, I guess, whatever. But everyone transitions differently. And so, it doesn't make sense if you start and you're 6 years old and say, you know what, I'm gay. Cool. Or, hey, I'm non-binary. Or I just had a young girl come up to me. No, we're not going to say that one. No. I'm not going to ask about being we're not doing that one. Sorry, buddy. No, that's a good one. But, it takes a lot of strength, a lot of knowledge, and to educate yourself. Make sure you know the direction you're going to go in. Make sure you have support. Maybe, I had a young girl young person to me just came to me and said, well, I'm transitioning from female to male, and I'm going to be non-binary. And I'm like, okay, so then what are your pronouns? So at least I know their pronouns moving forward. And then they're like, well, yeah, I had a bad family, bad history. You know what? Everyone goes through this in life. I said, but you can't replace a mother and father. You can never replace them. People can be a mother figure for other people, or a father figure, or a brother, sister, best friend, a friend. You can always be that person, but you can never replace your original parent or parents, wherever they are. So unless they are deceased, then then we would pray that they're watching over you, you and where you are. So it's hard. It's a hard thing, and we can never ask for any better, by all means. All right, so let's talk about the fun stuff now. We've talked about serious stuff. We've got the serious stuff. Let's talk about what pride really means to you. We talked about the rainbows and the unicorns, and I got my little bottle here tonight, the little unicorn. Yeah, Jamie's driving. Yes, Martel. Good job. I'm glad you're paying. Good job, buddy. I'm glad you're behind the scenes paying attention. So, we see rainbows. We see people, with different flags. This and that. My flag actually should have been right behind me, and mine's sitting over there, but that's okay. No big deal. Everyone has different colors for flags. It doesn't mean you don't have to. You could be straight as an arrow and still be like, you know what? You can ask questions. So how do I become an ally? How do I actually support you? How do I make you a better person than just being in a dark cloud that's like got a lot of rumble and thunder, lightning, hopefully no hurricanes or tornadoes, hopefully not, but nothing serious, So, and biggest thing is how to become an ally. How do you become an ally? People, will throw everything at the book at you saying, I don't know. I have no idea, So let's have a little fun, and let's have a little fun with this. So anyone you want to start, go for it. What is the best thing if you ever met someone and they came out to you and said, I'm transitioning. I'm going to be a woman. I don't like being a man. Everything else like that, and, how would you support them as an ally? Be like, you know what? I'm so-and-so. So go ahead, ladies, you go ahead. Anyone want to start, go for it.
I mean, for me, like it sort of goes back to the support aspect of it. It's like, make sure that you're there for them. You're listening. They feel heard. They feel seen. The hardest thing is for anybody to go through something like that alone. And so whether, asking them what their needs are, like, what can I do to support you at this moment? Or, whatever it is, just finding something, it doesn't have to be like monumental, even if it's just to be there for like a 5-minute conversation, just making them feel like they're not alone. And, I mean, for me, like, I ask questions. Like, there was this person at my job, I wanted to be respectful, and I just said, hey, can you just let me know what your pronouns are, so that way I can refer to you how you want to be referred to, and I want to be as respectful as possible. And they really appreciated that I asked, because they do go by they and them, and they appreciated that, like, I took the time to be respectful enough and not just like assume what their pronouns are. I think that the best thing that you can do is just be flexible with people and have that communication open.
Very true. Very true. Jackie?
Yeah, I think listening is the first thing to do. Listening, letting them know, like, you have an open ear. But I think the biggest thing for me is just honesty. Like, if you don't understand something, don't pretend like you understand something. I've never met a person that got offended when I said, I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. I want to, but I'm not sure. Like, would you mind explaining that to me? And most of them are very receptive to that and will explain it to you. And then you have learned something new, and you can take that on into your everyday life. And I think that speaks volumes when you actually do listen and try to understand, as opposed to just being like, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, if you want to talk, let me know. And then just kind of push it to the side.
I mean, at least they have that support, that person that's available. And then when they actually feel like they're ready, or they're like, listen, we need to go do something. I need to talk to you, this and that. I mean, I've been there. I've been there, I mean, I'm actually going to let my guests actually grill me and actually ask me questions about, stuff like that. So that'll be coming up. So Jamie, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think, from my personal experience that I recently, everybody I work with, know that I was transgender, and I got all kinds of outpouring of support and love, and that was all great. You're going to be an ally, and you're going to tell someone that, you need to follow through on it as well. There's more to supporting someone than just saying, "Hey, I'll support you 100%." Actions have to come with those words.
You have to stand your ground, and you have to explain where you're going to go, what you plan on doing. Make sure you're educating yourself to know what's going to happen next, because you don't understand that. If you take the next step and get therapy and start taking, whatever medications that you get a doctor that is an inclusive doctor, it's going to help you get you where you need to go. Make sure you understand that those effects are permanent. Like you don't go backwards. Like once you take that step or have surgeries, there's no going back in time, like Back to the Future. Now we know it's a movie, but you can't just go back and say this and that. So make sure that you know what's going on. I mean, I just, like I said, as I talk to people, a lot of younger generation, Gen Zers, as I call them, the little Zers, the little ones. So or the babies, according to one of my once friends. Whatever, call them what you want. I mean, whatever. But it takes a lot of and they have these hopes that they're going to transition from one to another. But I said you have to actually look at all the logistics of it. You have to understand that if you're going to go on testosterone and become a man, from a woman to a man, that you have to understand that that it's going to be a lot harder to go from one to another, and there will be side effects. There will be effects on your body, because that's how a human body's set up. So different transition for myself or Jamie that just stepped out here. They'll go from male to female. So, that's the way that, and things we have to do to get where we got to go, yes. Martel brought up a good question too about it. And we can all explain a little bit about it. What does they, them? Allie and Jackie, what does they, them mean to you?
Jack, you go first. I always go first.
Okay, bitch. Don't be so aggressive. No, to me, they, them just means that maybe you don't directly identify with one sex or the other. Maybe you aren't sure if you are a he or a she, or you feel like you fall somewhere in between, or you just don't directly relate to one or the other. And so you just refer to be called they, them instead of a specific pronoun.
Yeah.
So
okay, your turn.
Beautifully
wow.
done.
You go? Okay, we'll let Allie go. All right, we'll let Allie. Oh, you want me to go?
Ditto.
Okay.
What she said.
So he said, okay. So yeah, they, them could be binary. And like I said, maybe you don't follow that he, she, something like that. You want to be down what I call the middle. Okay. So that means you're kind of like in between. That in between. So you're not on, the he side of life or she side of life. You want to be right down the center. So, and that's okay to be, to be they, them, and there's some people that are he, they, and she, they. So that means could be non-binary, which most people that normally go by they, most people do follow that non-binary protocol. Now, I'm not telling you that's exactly the way it is, so we're not here to read the encyclopedia of exactly what it is. We're just going to tell you the facts that that's most of the time where they go, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have a good friend, okay, went from she to they. All right, she's not. They are non-binary. I correct myself too. We all do it. There's sometimes even at work, people have to correct themselves. They're like, oops, but it's okay. The best part about that is when they correct themselves, they know they're in the wrong. We all do it. But the nice part about it is when you correct yourself, at least you see your flaws as a human, and you know what, I can fix that. So Jamie, welcome back.
Acknowledge it.
Sorry, everybody.
She's in a no-fly zone that doesn't allow cell phone service, so now you understand that. So yeah, just keep it under 200 knots if you could, please. I'd appreciate it. So no, just kidding. I'm kidding. So Jamie, can you please explain to the viewers what does they, them mean to you?
Well, that's a hard one. You know, just,
Oh,
just
oh, and we lost her. Okay. Well, she is. Yeah. Oh, maybe she's come back. Oh, she's back. Okay, Jamie, go ahead. You got the floor.
Oh, yeah. So I was just saying, it's to me, it's for those that just don't seem to fit into any one particular category, or given whatever given day, they may feel one day they feel like they're a man, and the next day they feel like they're a woman, or even from hour to hour. That's what it means to me.
I think to me, a lot more companies have went with diversity and inclusion. I'm glad to see that a lot more companies are moving that direction. I'm glad to see that people are more open-minded about it. 20, 30 years ago, I gotta be honest with you, this was kind of like not good, really, not good at all. And thank you, Martel. Yes, we also explained as to what the they them does mean. And to me, getting back to the companies, I think it's a great thing that companies are more open. Executives, board of directors. Now, I deal with some, high classified people, even in government, in federal government. And I will tell you hands down that those people, and I'll just say they because it's a whole probably group of people that I'm talking about, are they're like, if that one, if then this came from a soldier. This came from actually like a high-end general or whatever he was. I don't know, some military personnel. And he said, you know what? If it keeps you alive and you don't commit suicide, which we actually talked about in May, then it's making you happy and you're going the right direction, then keep it going. But make sure you always have support. Now, this has come from a high-ranking official, okay? And he's just being honest. He's just being a human like everybody else is. He said, take the clothes off, take the badge off. I'm just a human being like everybody else is. But he said that's what really counts. It's not, who's on left or right side of the line or politics, religion. It's really just be a decent human being. Just be, a good person. That's all you need to be, really, So let's talk about the fun things. Now, there's like, I have stickers, decals. I got a bunch of stuff around my house. Everyone sees little rainbows. I mean, we do see rainbows after a storm, which, it's always pretty to see those. So you think, I look at people that transition. It's almost like they've had this storm cloud over them, over their whole head the whole time. And now when they're coming out, it's kind of like you start out as a caterpillar and become a butterfly. That's what we call the butterfly effect. Not the movie, not the horror movie, everybody. People might like horror movies. I don't, but so that's a different thing. But you start out as that little caterpillar, and you may not really like yourself, okay, but eventually you make this you transition into that butterfly. So however you become, that's the best part about pride, being positive, looking at I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I will tell you, hands down, it's no one can ever say that this is a walk in the park and it's ever going to be easy. Okay. There's some people that make it look like it's an easy walk in the park. Okay. You see them on Facebook, you see them on social medias, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, all the rest of your social medias out there. That doesn't mean that they had it just because you see them and all glammed up and looking all pretty, this and that. They had to go through a lot to probably get where they are. So you just have to remember it takes time to get there. And it doesn't mean it's how old you are. You could be in teens, 20s, 30s, 5 years old, whatever. It doesn't mean it takes time to get where you need to go. So let's talk about fun stuff. We've hit halfway through the podcast. We need to talk about fun stuff. I like positive stuff. We get too serious about stuff, and Martel's always complaining about the gas prices. So we're going to talk about fun stuff in the Pride podcast. So let's talk about the rainbows and the unicorns and all the fun things you guys see, when you see Pride Month. So what, ladies, go ahead. Whoever wants to start. I see a lot of rainbows. I see a lot of them. I got like about maybe half a dozen around my house just to promote that there's positivity in my house. That means if you come here, you're accepted for whoever you are. I mean, Jamie and I had a really fun experience meeting in April for the first time, which was interesting. Not bad, but it's always a get to know somebody on a, I guess as you meet them in person. But what, to me, it was a great experience. Not gonna say hands down. We were both nervous as hell, but It turned out well. God can't complain. So let's talk about the fun things: rainbows, unicorns, flags, paint your faces. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll go first.
All right.
What I what I really liked is at the company that I work for. When I went into the office one day, they had all of the corporate branding, all of the various flags and colors for Pride Month, and I know that cost them a lot of money to do, and it just meant a lot to me to know that they would take the time and the money to be able to do that, make sure that the employees that work for them that happen to belong to our community are valued. And just to kind of tack onto that too, when I came out at work, I actually received phone calls from our VP of HR to congratulate me and let them know that, hey, if you need anything, she actually gave me her personal cell phone number to call her. So, I really like seeing that from corporations to really let their employees know that, hey, it's okay to be you while you're here. We accept you.
I mean, it's a big thing. That is a big thing, That's a really big thing. To me, it's we know gas is too high. We know, Martel, we understand gas is too high. It's high everywhere, buddy. It doesn't mean it's where you live in the United States of the craziness. Okay, that's about what it is. But I shouldn't have brought up the gas. I knew he was gonna go on his rant. He's still behind the scenes, everyone. So he's here, but not hosting tonight. So and he'll complain about the gas. But yeah, I mean, it's great. That diversity, I love it. Jackie, have you ever seen that? Now, do you see that? Jackie, with what you do, in the restaurant business. Allie, do you see that with what you're doing out? Working with people. Do you ever see that? In your environments?
I mean, I see it in mine. Like I said, I had a individual who worked like at the store with me, who was very clearly like part of the LGBTQ community. And, I think that it's great that they just allowed them to like be who they are and didn't like be like, you have to wear this uniform to work. You have to wear, this or that. Like they allowed people to have their individuality. And like, even like in the town where I was working, like it's sort of uppity and stuff, but people still like, I think that the world has just become a lot more accepting and wonderful. And, that's not to say that there's not, bad shit going on, but, for the most part, like everybody, like not everybody, but like most people have become pretty accepting about just allowing people to be who they are. And I think that that's great. Like, you can go to the store and you can buy pride cookies or a pride shirt or flags or whatever to show your support. And I think that that's great that like now people have other avenues to go through to show their support.
I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, I actually sent Jamie like last week. They actually had a pride cake that they made at one of the local grocery stores, and the baker was so proud of, was so excited that they actually got to make this cake and slice it up, and put in things. They're like, what? Never did it before, but I really want to do something different, and it's what it is, I mean, that's great, but and to me, I think, and I do look at like equal rights. I think to me, everyone should be accepted for who they are. Everyone should have equal rights, hands down. Jackie, tell me about your. Yes, we need to give the LGBTQ community rights. Go ahead, Jackie. I'm sorry.
So one thing, I do work in the restaurant business. I do restaurant management. But one of the things that I love about the place that I work is that even outside of Pride Month, we have a all-inclusive policy. And it says that you are allowed to be yourself. And that if anyone is bullied for any reason at all, anyone on the clock, or visiting the store, whatever, has the power to speak up and say something to that person right then. And we will not be reprimanded for it. So I wound up, was one of the reasons why I took the job, was because of this policy. And I wound up working with this like weird, crazy, diverse group of people from all different walks of life. Um, and I honestly have to say it's been one of the best work experiences I've ever had. We're all the time, just sharing things with each other and learning from each other. I've been able to brush up on my Espanol. And we just have a very wide diverse of people that practice all different things in life. So I just love seeing like the inclusiveness of things like that.
You know what, that brings up a good point, Jackie, is that you're able to speak up if say there is a customer, and say someone very negatively charged, as I like to say, says something to that other person, not the employees, but someone says something and tries to start trouble. At least that's good. I mean, to me, I think more companies need to really let their employees stand up to to their customers, because by all means, that those employees for that company can also say, you know what, we don't want your kind here, so please leave. And they have legal rights to tell them to leave. So if you're not going to respect people and respect those people, then what's the point of really? What's the? I mean, you can go and give all the this person given the negative give all the negative reviews you want on Yelp and all these other things, this and that. But to come down to it is when you find out that was the person that actually was the troubled person, and you're just creating more havoc and troubles, this and that. To me, I don't think it's right, by all means. I mean, I work as a federal contractor. There is zero tolerance. I mean, I do get looks from people and this and that in my job too. But to be honest with you, if anyone comes up to me and says something, oh yeah, they're gone. It doesn't matter. You don't have a job no more. And on a federal level, it doesn't look good trying to get a job just in your kind of private sector world, because it's there. It's on your record for life. You can't walk away from someone at that level. So I try to tell people, just be a decent person. Don't be stupid. Don't try to enjoy life. Let's have fun in life. Okay, we can have a beer with Allie, or maybe a glass of wine with Jackie and Jamie. Whatever. But we should enjoy. We should have fun. We should enjoy our time. And it doesn't matter how you maybe you don't look the prettiest, or maybe I don't look like Kim Kardashian, or maybe don't look like Tom Cruise. Granted, I know he's like almost 60, but whatever. Maybe the long story short is, you don't have to be like those actors or actresses. You don't have to look like them. You can be your own individual person, wear your own rockin' styles. I mean, I have a pretty diverse group of ladies. I mean, we have stuff. I have like Allie and Jamie that are all like always kind of formally dress style. Jackie and I and my friend Mary are more like t-shirt and jeans, or yoga pants or whatever. But that diversity makes it all great. It makes it like we could still connect, we could still talk about things, we could still have fun, and it doesn't make a difference.
Listen, I only got dressed for you. Believe me, I was in my jammies before this.
And you could have left in your jammies. It's not a big deal, And yeah, we know. Thanks, Martel. We know.
We know.
Yes. Oh, we know, buddy. Thanks for telling us for the 10th time, buddy. We know. Thanks for telling us.
It's only $4.93 here.
Oh man. I mean, it's I don't know. We're not going to talk about it right now. This is a Pride podcast. Go away, Martel. Just go away. Just go away.
I tried, Martel.
Just go away. Just go sit in the corner now,
Be
please.
proud of your gas prices.
Yeah. Just be happy, because you got to remember other states, including, when you talk about that stuff, and we'll talk about that some more time. You got to look at emissions. That's another that comes into a factor with the cost of gas. So, and other things that go into the gas. And so we'll do a scientific review on gasoline and whatever else. And that's kind of boring anyway. So people don't want to talk about that. Someone told me I should have been some rocket scientist. I'm like, nah, that's kind of boring. Not really. I'm good. Thanks.
No, we have all the rocket scientists here.
There we go. See?
They're all in Alabama.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some fun stuff. Okay, what are things you can do to promote promote the Pride Month? It is June. We know I have our flags, rainbows, unicorns. I've talked about this numerous times throughout the podcast this evening. What are things you can do? Like, I mean, by all means, I mean, some people actually asked me, hey, do you got any little, LGBTQ stickers? And by all means, I'll go right to them and I'll put it right in their arm. Here you go. Good job. You got a heart for the day. Good job. Yes, Love Victor is now available. Okay. The final season is available tomorrow. Okay. And then where is that at, Martel, by the way? Probably on Netflix, Amazon Prime.
I've heard that's a good show.
It actually is. If you ever seen Love, Simon, the movie, actually is
I
one.
haven't.
And we're actually going to have a list up after the podcast. I'm putting a list up of actually all the LGBTQ shows, movies, and this and that. Hulu and Disney Plus. Okay, so those people.
Oh, I
that have,
have Disney Plus.
okay, so it's on there. So and by the way, Hulu, Disney Plus, iHeartRadio, and Procter and Gamble actually got together. And actually, as of right now, we're actually doing a live as they're actually doing. There actually was some companies in America that were trying to cancel Pride. Shocking. We cannot bring those companies up because due to legal allegations, they would sue us. So we cannot say those names. But the companies that I did actually just say they're actually standing behind Pride, including all your, a lot of your diverse, inclusive, companies. So, and I will say hands down that there's more and more. We'll keep adding every day. If we keep on educating people, eventually what's going to happen is those people that are the people on the one side of the line, eventually going to be in a little corner. And I don't know if they're going to I don't know if they'll live in some other state or whatever, we won't pick on those states, but, LGBTQ community knows how to party. Let's rave. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad that the CEO is telling me why. So Kimmy, thank you very much. Happy Pride. Thank you for stopping in and saying hi to us. Actually, Kimmy's the one that I was talking to last night. I was talking that she's transitioning from female to male, and she lives near me.
Congratulations.
So yeah, so that is awesome. That she is, I believe, 2 months. So Kimmy, congratulations, by the way, from all of
Congratulations.
that is so awesome. She is actually originally from. Now I'm not going to get into too much details about Kimmy, but she's a Gen Zer, and she's originally from Ohio, but she moved to the cheese state of Wisconsin. So good for her to deal with the cold and the snow. You thought Ohio was okay, Kimmy. I gotta be honest, you could live like northeastern part of the U.S. You could live that way, or you could, whatever else, or you could live, in the Midwest where it's cold and crappy, and so. And Kimmy, yes, she is non-binary. Yes, that is correct, Kimmy. Yep. So she is. So I'm very proud of her. That is awesome. Another. I always say all these new people coming into the groups, and so I always make sure that they feel welcome. I always say you can never replace your original parents, but you can have figures in your life to people that help you out, make you feel better. And by the way, hi Bella. By the way, I will wave at you, honey. Hi Bella. I'm gonna say hi to her. By the way, that's Jackie's little one there, so we'll say hi to her. Because I don't see Jackie's running around, or Allie's in a private location, so that's
I
good.
scared mine and
hide
told
from
them
my
if they
children.
bothered me that I would strangle them.
I pretty much said the same thing. I was like, "Mommy is working. Watch your tablet."
Bella goes
I said, take
everywhere
a
with me.
shower. Take a shower, put your bedclothes on, and I will let you know when I'm done. Do not open this door.
They won't have good back in the day stories. Oh yeah, no, you're talking like Gen Xers and millennials will have these. Back in my day, yeah. Well, that's what
back in my day stories.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
Hey, but Gen Zers and millennials
I'm
do
old.
have stories. They will. You do have those. But you got to remember, though, I don't know where millennials start. I think it's like 32, 31. I don't know. Somewhere
Well, I'll be 36 this year. I was born in 86.
Yes, I'm a millennial. I think millennials now are like down to like 26, 27
So it is?
and
Okay.
up.
Okay.
But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. Well, we will, I mean, it's not the end of the world. No, 29. 29 is the line. Okay, thanks, Martel, for helping us out there. Okay, 29. So good. So at least all my friends that I know are millennials and moving up. Not now. I have a child that's a Gen Z. I don't know what the younger generations what that is going to be.
There's too many for me to keep up.
I think it's
Yeah, I'm done.
I believe maybe it's a double A. I don't know. Maybe Belly, you're in that double A level. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe you'll make it to triple A level. I don't know.
Are these like school football conferences now that we're talking
Yeah, are
about?
we like going back now and just doubling up on letters? Like,
Yeah.
how many generations has this gone back already that we're already at Gen Z?
It's, I don't know. I mean, I've heard Gen Alpha, I've heard Gen, and now they're like, okay, so we're going to use military, terms. We're going to Alpha, Bravo, Kappa,
They're just making up shit now.
I'm
I'm
just like,
from the generation of you better have your ass in this house by the time these streetlights come on.
there we go. That's it. That's right. That's right. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it has to be. So let's talk a little bit local wise. So Allie's out east. Allie's out east where where the Kennedys live. Just kidding. Not where the Kennedys live. I'm kidding, but not far from them. We'll say that. We'll just leave it at that. So, what in your state? And again, we don't give out specifics. So out east, what do you see locally out there? Like, do you see any companies, any businesses? Do you ever see like any pride flags or event stuff that actually does go on? Do you see locally?
Yes, I will say that there are a lot of pride events here. And I mean, realistically, we're about an hour and a half from New York. So like there's really no shortage of like support systems around here. Like if you want to find a pride parade, you're going to be able to find one. If you want to find flags and cookies and or support groups or like an LGBTQ AA meeting, like you'll be able to find all that sort of stuff here, which I think is really great because I think that around here, like it's getting to be a lot more just open for people to be who they are.
That's a good thing to have that open, Gen Xers are 1965 to 1980. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it, Martel. Thanks for your devoted research, buddy. I appreciate that. So, Jackie, what do you see now? Jackie's in the southern, as Ludacris calls the dirty South. I guess is that what that's called? I guess I don't know if that's called that.
The part of the dirty South I'm in is slap dab in the middle of the Bible Belt. So it's a little bit different here than it is some other places. Not saying that you don't see it, but you do get those groups of people that are highly against it. It does not, however, stop people from just doing what they want to anyways. And most of the cities around here do host pride events. They just have to make sure that the police are on hand in case any of the crowd decides to like berate the participants, which doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened before. But it's a little bit different down here for people that are celebrating Pride. It's kind of a can I do this now or not type of thing. It has progressed some in the past few years with it becoming a more nationally recognized thing, but it's still a big religious contradiction being in the middle of the Bible Belt.
And I will say now, being in the dirty South, they're actually the state that Jackie's in. There actually is a surgeon that actually does males and female bottom surgeries and other surgeries like that. Which to me, out of that whole group, to me that is a complete game changer. To me, I mean, normally you would not see that. Normally that would be a kind of a East-West Coast type thing. That's the progressive. Where I went to have my surgery out east. Kind of central part of the East Coast. I will say it's very progressive. They don't have time to worry about who you are. They're only maybe an hour and a half, south of New York. So, people they're too busy worried about their lives and where they need to go.
Yeah,
know,
it's a really dependent on how close you are to the bigger cities. So if you're in Huntsville or the surrounding areas, Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, things like that, you're going to find a lot more inclusivity. It's when you start getting into those rural areas, county areas, things like that, um, you just get a lot of backwoods hillbillies. I'll say it. I'm a white person. I can say that. It's
you
fine.
can say whatever you need to say, Jackie. It's fine. All right.
Not
Well,
wrong.
it's all right. So Jamie Martell and I are all from the cheese state, so we're all here in the Midwest. Even though Jamie is originally a transplant from across the lake, so but that's all right. We still counter. We still
It's
counter.
better over here.
So that's all right. She's been over here long enough, so we count her as a cheesehead regardlessly. So locally, we know Jamie. You and I can both talk about. There's a lot of events, Pride. We see a lot of flags going up. Actually, the progressive flag actually went up by a good friend of mine who's actually in northern Wisconsin. Actually pushed for the first progressive flag in America to be put up, and we actually did put up in Wisconsin. So to me, that is a good start. I'm glad to see we're making a change. And we're showing the rest of the United States and the world that you can put up a flag, and you still have hate. But so locally, what do you see down by you, Jamie? What do you see when you go driving around and having to go to different events with your kids?
I hate to rain on everybody's parade here, but unfortunately, the area that I live in, you don't see a lot. Just being brutally honest. We really didn't have, the cakes at the grocery store. You don't really see flags flying around. But this area that I'm in is not to label everybody, but it's a fairly conservative area. And although while I'm out, I don't really get, harassed, or I don't really get, people don't really like try to single me out. You do get a lot of looks. And just have to shrug those off. But like I said, unfortunately, in this area, you just don't see a whole lot of it at all.
Wow, so there's a pride flag outside the county jail, courthouse, and detention center in Milwaukee. Well, that's good. I'm glad to see that at least there has been some, and there's been moves. I do know that a lot of the metro cities, Milwaukee, Madison, Eau Claire, La Crosse, Wausau, and Green Bay, Appleton even too, have pushed towards more inclusive and actually, instead of completely opposite, as we learn from the Do Not Say Gay bill from Mr. DeSantis down in Florida, actually they're teaching these kids if they would like to learn about being inclusive in this. And to me, I think that is a great thing. To me, I think that is a move in the right direction. And if they're not sure about that, and the nice part about that is that's an elective class, not something they actually have to be forced to take. It's just more or less just an optional class to learn more about, them, human beings and what it is. So to me, I think it's a step in the right direction. I'd like to see more school districts, private and public, do it. I'm glad to see a lot of the large cities, I can't talk here, are actually start something. So Wisconsin, each state has started different things, and a lot of states have taken onto it. So I'm hoping that maybe, Wisconsin started back in 1905, the 40-hour work week. Maybe we can start actually more inclusive education for the children, and if those parents feel they don't need to put those kids through it, it's an optional class. Not saying they got to go through it, but at least it's something they could actually learn something, be educated on, and actually help themselves later on, because maybe they might be in their own shoes saying, you know what, I don't like who I am. I want to switch. I want to do this. I want to do that. So that could happen. That could happen someday, I mean, we're not going to say Jack is winning the lottery, but
I think that it's also good to just bring some awareness on how to be a kinder human being, whether or not you identify as, anything. I think that it's still good to have that little thing to just let people learn how to be a little bit kinder and more understanding.
Very true. Well, we're getting to the end of our broadcast. It needs to be more inclusive for same-sex parents in schools, and that's true too. We need more acceptance if you're going to have two dads or two moms, regardlessly, or maybe two non-binary parents. That could happen even too. You know, that's a possibility too. You could, and it could be any one of those scenarios. You could have a, so, but as we wrap up the podcast, and wow, we've actually made it through the whole thing and talking about good, bad, everything else and stuff like that. Ladies, what are your kind of final thoughts about Pride, and everything about it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start. I would just say educate, educate, educate. I can't stress enough how many people just don't understand the community, and if we could just educate people about it, I think they would realize that we're human beings too. We have feelings just like everybody else, and we just want to be loved and accepted, and and that's it. And I think if people are educated on what all the various terms and everything are, because there are a lot of them, right? If they were educated on what it was and what it meant, that they'd be far more accepting.
Jackie, what are your final thoughts?
I think it's just, boils down to be kind to one another. It's so easy to be kind to someone. And a lot of times we forget that based on our personal beliefs, that we don't realize that everyone deserves the same level of basic human decency. And I think that's the biggest problem in our society across the board. We just need to be nicer to each other. And don't forget the power of just doing something nice. Like it was said earlier, it doesn't have to be a grand gesture, but tell someone you like their hair. If you see someone out and they look like they're a little bit nervous about their outfit, whether you like it or not, tell them it looks good. Like, just be nice to somebody. If you see something, say something. And just remember that we are all human beings and we all deserve a certain basic level of human decency.
Yeah,
Well said.
be kind, be respectful. Yeah, say good things to someone, and maybe they might be in a rough situation or something like that, by all means, it's be positive. It's the biggest thing is for Pride Month that we ask you. And if you're not sure how to be an ally in this and that, like I said, we're going to have the links up and how you can actually educate yourself and how you can actually ask us questions about what, Pride means to each one of us, stuff like that, so things that, you like to know, because we want to be there to support you. We love you. We care for you. We want you to be there every day. We want you to show up there every day. If you go to bed, the statement always is, and it comes from Free Mom Hugs around the world, is that get your rest, wake up, eat some food, take your meds, smile, and be wonderful today. Because every day that you're around, we appreciate you being here, being alive, being with us. You're such a wonderful human being to be here. And we love that you're here with us. So before we go, because we did do final thoughts, I never saw rainbows out in Ohio. I see a lot of rainbows in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is my chosen home. I feel more loved here and free to be me. Well, Kimmy, I'm glad that you are very welcome. Everyone needs to check out The Queen's English, which is an LGBTQ plus dictionary by Chloe Davis. Well, thank you, Kimmy, for bringing that to us, and I will definitely put that up on our link so that way then people can actually do a little education on it. So before we go, and we actually call it an evening here, I'm gonna actually have, because Allie actually dropped out. Her equipment died on her, so it happens, no big deal. So before we go, because of all things, we did say we're gonna let the guest grill me a little bit. So I'm gonna give Jackie and Jamie, I'm gonna give them each 1 minute to go ahead and grill me and ask me a few questions about me and how I've got to where I am right now. So whoever wants to start, go for it, ladies.
When did you know?
So when did I know? I knew when I was actually 15 years of age. I was in high school, not to date myself, and I felt I was in the wrong body. I drug my feet for a long time, didn't really get much help, and I really had a hard time in life. I really had a lot of mental health issues in my life. I was going to do a lot of bad things myself, and I can really say that I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy that someone kicked me in the butt almost 4 years ago and told me I needed to get myself, I needed help. So that's where I'm at, and that's how I got from way back then to where I'm at right now. Jackie, what do you got for me?
What is one question that people always ask you that you wish they would just not ask?
Are you a guy or are you a woman? That one gets really annoying. It really does. Now I understand the looks do get to be a little bit deceivious. I understand this is just my normal work and casual type look sometimes, but it is very annoying. And then to try to educate them, sometimes you can't educate people, older people, because they don't want to be educated. They've been doing their job for so long that if you try to explain something to them, they're like, we don't have time for that. But I will say, though, a lot of people have come around. A lot of people have done better, and I'm very happy that they've actually improved. So I will say that I've been dealing with that for the last few years, but it's been getting better. So I will say there's out of the negative, it's been turning around. So that's a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, any more questions you want to grill me at all?
How about the opposite of that? What's the one question you love when people ask you?
What's your favorite pair of eyeglasses or headbands to wear? Now, granted, I have a dozen pair of eyeglasses, and I have too many headbands, to be honest with you. I don't know. So I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you. It depends what kind of outfit I'm going to wear for the day. I mean, at work, it's a different story, but depends what I want to wear. I don't know. I mean, my eye doctor thinks I'm nuts, but, everyone has the different things in life. And, on top of my probably 20 pairs of mom shades I have, probably, rocking those too. So, it just depends how I feel. Some days those guys will see me walking in with my mom shades on, and they'll be like, yep, today's must be a good day, apparently, or whatever, but that's something, but that's a lot of the people that they know me, they see me every day, so, and I like that. That's a really positive thing. I really do like that. Jackie, what do you have for me?
What do you think has been the easiest thing to overcome since your transition?
That's been the easiest thing. I think to me, the easiest thing I thought would be really hard, but actually explaining to people who I really am versus who I was, and actually give them a complete detail of how I had to get where I had to go. And it's so thorough to the point of people are really happy that people are really shocked with that. Kimmy, thank you for the checked out paireyewear.com. Okay, thank you, Kimmy. I'll check that out. We will check that out for all people that wear eyeglasses. Thank you, Kimmy, for that. And I'm very happy that I'm actually to explain who I was and who I am now. And it's been like an easy little, instead of being a long story, it's kind of a little poem kind of thing, made it short and sweet. So that's been easier as it goes. Jamie, throw me one more.
All right. Red Vines or Twizzlers?
Ooh, this is hard. They're both good. I don't know. The Twizzlers do have the fruit filling in them, depending on what you get. So, I'm going to go Twizzlers. I mean, so sorry if the hater's going to hate me for that one, but I like the ones with the filling in them. So, just a personal thing. But, Jackie, what do you throw me one more time? Power of the Christmas tree. Yes, Martel. Yes. July is coming, buddy. It's coming. Don't worry. You get your Christmas in July, buddy. You're coming soon. Jackie, what do you got?
Oh. If there was one thing you could do now that you have went through your transition that you could not have done before, what would it be?
What's one thing you know what? I was never able to, when I wanted to use the ladies' room, I never could until I started transitioning and actually all the legal documentations. I knew it years ago. I never liked to use the men's restroom, or the male's restroom. And now that I, do my job, it's amazing that I really tolerate males in general sometimes. Not to be mean, not saying they're all bad. Martell and Old Yeller are good. I'm not saying they're not bad guys.
I can understand why you would not want to go in a men's restroom though, because I've seen the inside of a men's restroom and it's not nice.
No. All right, so before we go, I'm gonna let Jamie's daughter actually ask me one question, and then we will call her night. So no, we're not gonna do any adult activities. Okay, Bella, what is your question for me?
What was one thing that was hard to overcome?
What was one thing hard to overcome? This is a good question. Okay, so it was hard to overcome my environment. And when I mean my environment, that'd be people around me, and trying to educate them, because I was kind of talking to a brick wall, I want to say. So when talking to a brick wall, that pretty much means that those people are very just non-existent or don't want to understand. I will say my son, even though he's very high functioning autistic, was very good with explaining stuff when I was having a hard time trying to catch up. So it did. But then has my environment changed from there? I will say, Bella, yes, it has changed. So thank you for your very cognitive question and very put me in the spot. Good job for you, Bella. Good job.
You're welcome.
Good job. So any more questions before we call her a night then? Any of you two want to get any more from me at all, or is that it?
I think we've harassed you enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. They've literally pushed me in a corner and
You're going to get enough hate on Twizzlers, so.
snap. Okay, well that's how that goes in
Well, I
life.
like Twizzlers.
Bella's on Team Twizzlers, so.
Okay, good for you, Bella. See, we got a connection. There we go. See, got it right side. So I'm gonna just real quickly, as our information has been going across usually the last 5-10 minutes, we have our deals. So here we go. Here's our deals. To make sure you go check out our deals through Samecast every day. Head over to habits365.com and use code Anthony4 to receive 20% off your order. We have also repsports.com and use Martell1 to receive 5% off your purchase. Don't forget to check out those two websites and make sure you use those codes to get your discount. We know that Martell gets his chunk off it, but don't forget to check out our social medias. We have on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we are working our way through the system. And then, yes, we will be back to Twitter pretty soon once, I don't know, Elon Musk lets us get back on there. Don't forget to check out our website too at direct.me/Samecast You can also see the interview we just did earlier with Sam from Sam's Southern Bakery. So yes, we actually did sample some cookies. Jamie actually saw me. So don't forget, everyone, we will be seeing you next time at the next Samecast Every Day podcast coming up this coming Thursday. Again, same time, same channel, 7 p.m. Central. If you would like to watch us ahead of time, watch out for that Facebook Live, and also check us out that we will set it up on YouTube Live too. So from the Samecast Every Day crew, I'm Crystal B, the reporter, the person that took over the podcast this evening, and to thank, even though Allie's not with us at this time, but thank you, Allie, for showing up. Jackie and Jamie, it's been always a pleasure. Jackie and Allie are the mental health experts, and it's always a pleasure to have our mental health experts on the podcast, especially talking about serious things like pride and talking about safety, concerns, environment, and positivity. Jamie, it's a pleasure seeing you again as always. Thank you so much for being part of the podcast. I know Jamie loves us harassing us all the time and sending us comments all the time, so we love her feedback or telling me I need to fix my hair, whatever it is, by all means. This has been Samecast Every Day podcast. I'm Crystal B, and have a great evening.